Gervonta the Tank Davis.
Everything to the body. Everything to the body. Chopping, downstairs, chopping. Brick hand. Now this, even his shots upstairs here, that's still a body shot on Jake Paul. Everything's a body shot he's throwing, even when he's changing the levels of the shot. That's a body shot, that's a body shot, that's a body shot.
Gervonta Tank Davis, it's my prediction that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to weigh in on the night of the fight against Jake Paul, knocking on 160 pounds.
Gervonta Davis turned heads at the recent press event for his upcoming clash with Jake Paul, showing off a noticeably stronger and more muscular build. His latest training footage reveals a laser-focused mindset and impressive power gains. Experts believe Tank is preparing a body-focused game plan, aiming to exhaust Jake with steady pressure and punishing shots that sap stamina and break rhythm, reminding everyone that his speed and explosiveness are just as dangerous as ever.
What they're trying to bring to the Jake fight, but when I watch it, I see a guy that's targeting the body, and it's the best thing that Tank could do for this fight. I mean, trying to go headshot for headshot with Jake Paul when he's probably, Jake's 7 inches taller than he is. I'm assuming he's going to have a bit of a reach, even though Tank has a kind of freakish reach for his height. I don't think that's a great idea. And again, you're at eye level with Jake's belly button damn near. So you're going to have to be able to land shots right there on the waistline. And it's probably the best idea if you actually want to knock Jake out in this fight, if you actually want a game plan, because again, it's an exhibition, but if you want a game plan to get him out of there, you have to attack the body. Not that it's necessarily going to hurt Jake to the body and he's going to cripple, but it's going to slow him down, or at least that's the idea, is to slow him down, to drop his hands, and that way that we're in the, whatever, 6th, 7th, 8th round of this fight, and those hands start to fall a little bit, and Jake's gas tank is being tested, and then Tank, when he closes distance, and he will have to close distance damn near.
Former world champion Shawn Porter has always been known for giving honest respect where it's earned. When he talks about Gervonta Tank Davis, his opinion carries real weight. Porter praised Davis as a true warrior in the ring, someone fueled by unmatched hunger and determination. He pointed out how Tank's mindset never wavers, no matter who's standing across from him. That combination of mental grit and natural ability, Porter says, is what makes Davis one of the most dangerous fighters of his era. He also emphasized that Tank's mix of discipline, controlled aggression, and fight IQ separates him from those who depend solely on power. To Porter, Davis embodies what a real fighter is, someone who embraces challenges and steps into battle with heart, passion, and purpose.
That I really appreciate about Tank is he's a dog. That kind of that what he just said, you can put them earmuffs up and go at it. He kind of will assess you as well, and whatever he needs to do, he'll do it, you know, so.
Right. Boxing analyst Showbiz recently tackled one of the biggest misunderstandings surrounding Gervonta Tank Davis, his size. Many fans still think of him as a smaller fighter who only belongs in the lighter weight classes. However, Showbiz clarified that Davis actually walks around close to 160 pounds, far from the image of a tiny lightweight. He explained that Tank's compact, muscular build is designed for power, which helps him unleash explosive strength even against taller opponents. According to Showbiz, Davis's natural physicality gives him an edge in matchups where others might appear larger on paper. His elite conditioning, sharp balance, and precise control of range allow him to land devastating shots with pinpoint accuracy. So while Tank may compete in the lower divisions, he brings the strength and athleticism of a much bigger man.
That he can yield that type of weight. He's a bowling ball. He ain't a little guy like you guys say. The Tanky Wanky say he's a little guy. But I got more receipts. Do you guys remember what, 2 years ago against Mario Barrios to make 140? He was coming down in weight.
144.1.
Weighing in at 144 plus. I even got more receipts for you guys. Remember against Ryan Garcia, right? You saw him backing on snacky cakes and all kind of Skittles and shit, you know, for the all access with him versus Ryan Garcia. I think this was like episode 2 or something. It was hilarious. But he goes to the store and they have to weigh him. And in that store, he weighs 150 pounds.
Good, thank you.
How much I weigh?
154.
154?
Yes, sir.
All right, weigh me one more time.
All right, 150.
150? What are they doing? All right, bet.
And then the most famous audio leak that the War Room made famous, that we sent out and it went viral, when Team Tank said that Gervonta Tank Davis walks around at 160 pounds.
You ain't gonna never want to fight at 135 again.
Behind the scenes, Gervonta Tank Davis has taken his training to another level. Recent clips from his camp reveal a fighter fully dialed in, throwing sharp, precise combinations, tightening his footwork, and giving full focus to every single movement. Coaches describe his workouts as intense, punishing, yet perfectly intentional. Davis isn't just building stamina. He's building power meant to break opponents down. Each punch he practices is designed to mirror real fight pressure. His sparring rounds have reportedly been fierce, featuring bigger and stronger partners to prepare him for the physical challenge Jake Paul brings. Those who've watched him train say Tank looks quicker, more accurate, and mentally composed than ever before. This version of Davis doesn't just aim to win, he's preparing to dominate. It's the kind of dedication that turns champions into legends, and Tank seems ready to remind the world why he's built for greatness. As excitement builds for Gervonta Tank Davis's upcoming showdown with Jake Paul, some boxing figures, including Claressa Shields, have voiced strong opinions about his future. Shields questioned Tank's recent talk of possibly retiring after the Paul fight, arguing that a fighter who claims to be among the best shouldn't step away without testing himself against elite names like Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, both of whom have publicly called him out. Critics say that if Davis ignores those challenges, it could create the perception that he's avoiding the toughest competition. They want to see him silence the skeptics by taking on the top contenders in his own division, rather than focusing only on high-profile crossover bouts. Still, others argue that Shields and her supporters may be overlooking the emotional and mental toll Tank has endured in recent years, a factor that could heavily influence his next move inside and outside the ring.
Got skills out this world. He's a scary dude. He's scary. Ain't no way he said he's supposed to come back and get Shakur, Devin, Ryan, Teofimo, whoop all these. He like, I'm about to retire after I fight Jake. No, I don't let nobody talk about me like that. The way that Shakur disrespect him, the way that Devin talked to him, the way that Ryan, he had knocked out Ryan. The way that these dudes be talking, he supposed to come back and get them. He the man, right? He who everybody say is the best. I ain't leaving no food on the table. When I'm done boxing, I'm whooping all these girls. They all getting beat. You said you can beat me? Oh, okay, I'm gonna figure out where.
Leonard Alerba, Gervonta Tank Davis's longtime advisor, recently opened up about what the fighter has been going through behind the scenes. According to Ellerbe, there was a period when Tank wasn't mentally prepared to face Lamont Roach due to personal challenges weighing heavily on him. He explained that Davis had experienced a series of emotional setbacks that left him drained, making it the right decision to step back rather than force another fight. Instead, Tank chose to focus on recovery and finding balance in his life. Ellerbe reminded fans that while many see Davis as a relentless powerhouse, he's still human, someone who's dealt with family struggles, public scrutiny, and the constant pressure that comes with fame. His comments gave fans a deeper understanding of Tank's mindset, showing that his decisions aren't rooted in fear but in protecting his mental health while continuing to chase greatness.
Lamont Roach, that his mind was not in a place where it was like, yeah, okay, let's get it, and he was going to war with Lamont Roach. He was going through the motions with Lamont Roach during the training camp and could never really get himself motivated to really give the best of himself against Lamont Roach, and that probably affected him during training and during the fight. And that is something that can happen, especially if you really look back on what happened with the Lamont Roach fight and all of the ups and downs about that fight being made. Because first, if you recall, he wasn't supposed to be fighting Lamont Roach. The person he was supposed to be fighting was Vasily Lomachenko. You know, the guy that everybody says that he doesn't want to fight, that he didn't want to fight. Gervonta Davis was up and prepared to fight Vasily Lomachenko. So it shouldn't surprise anybody that if he tries to make a fight with Vasily Lomachenko, that fight doesn't go through. Then he tries to make a fight with Lamont Roach. He can't get the fight done for Houston with Lamont Roach because there was all kind of venue problems and drama going on around Gervonta getting a venue in Houston. So they wind up eventually moving the fight to New York City and pushing it back even further. So not only is it a fight where he didn't just jump out of from his last fight that he had and jump into a fight with Lamont Roach, he got held up. And then also during that period of time, he had to spend some time in jail for a parole violation after the, well, I believe that might have been after the.
In one of his most open and emotional interviews, Gervonta "Tank" Davis revealed that his journey in boxing didn't begin with dreams of fame or championship belts. What pushed him into the sport was a need to escape the environment he grew up in. Surrounded by struggle, his goal was simple: create a better life for himself and the people he cared about. Over the years, success reshaped his reality, but not his mindset. Davis admitted that even after achieving financial stability, he's still fueled by the same survival instinct that first drove him to fight. That hunger makes him dangerous. His motivation isn't built on luxury or status, it's rooted in never wanting to return to the hardship he came from. Tank's story reminds fans that behind the lights and recognition stands a man who fought for identity and survival, not just trophies. Every time he steps into the ring, he's fighting to prove that his past no longer defines him.
Turned professional boxer Jake Paul, who is 12 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 7 wins by way of knockout, opposed to fighting against the likes of his peers who are well accomplished and superstars in their own right for legacy fights like Shakur Stevenson, like Teofimo Lopez, like Devin Haney. Why he's not interested in those fights. And he gets real, right? He gets real, and only thing we could do is salute it, right? Because he's saying, I never told y'all I wanted to be a world champion. I never told y'all I wanted to be undisputed. I got into this for myself and my circumstances to escape from my circumstances. And that's real. We can't blame him for that. We hold him in high regard because the statements he's made and misled people when he said he got a hit list that he wants to check off before he retires, and that hit list includes Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Lomachenko, who turned down the fight because of a severe back injury. And then he told the world, he told Champside, it would be great for him to become undisputed. So I think that he had a change of heart at some point in time.
Former UFC champion Daniel Cormier recently voiced serious doubts about the upcoming matchup between Jake Paul and Gervonta "Tank" Davis. After watching the promotional build-up, Cormier admitted the fight feels more like entertainment than a true sporting contest. He highlighted the significant size difference between the two, noting that while Davis's talent is undeniable, the natural weight gap could make things unfair. Cormier expressed concern that such mismatches risk damaging boxing's reputation, shifting it from a respected competition to more of a spectacle. His comments weren't aimed at disrespecting either fighter, but at protecting the integrity of the sport. In his eyes, boxing should continue to prioritize skill, weight classes, and merit-based matchups over headline-driven events designed mainly for attention.
Jake Paul. Yesterday they had their first press conference. One of the most recognizable things is Jake Paul is huge compared to Gervonta Davis. And two, Gervonta Davis don't even know what weight they fight, D.
Maximum weight of 195 pounds for this exhibition. The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds.
I said it was 190.
The fight is 195 pounds, Tank, as you know.
DC, I watched this, and we have our priorities way misplaced when we're talking about boxing. Like, everybody's complaining about this Ali act and all. Like, how is something like this allowed to happen? How is Jake Paul allowed to fight Gervonta Davis? It's
I don't know.
Completely unfair. It is completely just, I can't say the word that I want to say because I don't want to get canceled, but this fight should not be happening. And the press conference was embarrassing. Gervonta Davis should not have a mic in front of him. It was absolutely embarrassing watching this thing.
D, why? Why, D?
Just the fact that, like, every time when Jake Paul would say something to Gervonta Davis, he didn't know how to answer it. He was comparing himself to, like, P. Diddy at moments, and I was like, oh my God, get a mic away from this guy. This fight shouldn't be happening. And then he didn't even know what weight they were fighting. He's like, I thought
That's
it was
bad,
190,
D.
it was 195.
That was the craziest thing. That was the thing that stood out to me the most. Was that when they go, the rehydration limit or something is 195. And he goes, wait, I thought it was 190.
Analyst Adolio explained that exhibition-style bouts do have a role in boxing, but only when the fighters involved are past their physical peaks. He pointed out that events like Mayweather versus Logan Paul made sense because neither man was still chasing world titles. In contrast, both Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis are active competitors in their prime, which makes this matchup more controversial. Cormier echoed that sentiment, emphasizing how these crossover fights risk blurring the line between legitimate sport and pure entertainment. He warned that if this trend continues, audiences may start prioritizing drama and spectacle over skill and merit, potentially harming the sport's future. This concern reflects a growing conversation among boxing analysts who argue that the sport must protect its competitive integrity before it becomes driven more by viral moments than athletic excellence. When asked about the Davis versus Paul event, many experts agreed. It's a spectacle that raises serious questions about where boxing is headed
in the world. And it's a division that includes Shakur Stevenson, a lot of young guns coming up. I'm not any more sure if it's going to include Keyshawn Davis, but it's a hot division. He's considered number one in that division. Like, that's why I kind of find this a bit, I don't know. Like, there are challenges out there for Gervonta. There are big money fights out there for Gervonta. We want to see Gervonta in those fights. Again, I don't know how many fights people want to see AJ in, just to make the AJ Jake Paul comparison. One, as far as I'm concerned, that was Tyson Fury. I don't really have any interest in seeing an AJ in any other more fights. Whereas Gervonta Davis, I wanted and still do want to see him in so many more fights. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. These exhibition things are, like, really and truly, they should all be when your career's done. Like, when you think of Floyd versus Logan Paul, it's done, right? Floyd versus Conor. Did he have one more after? Was that it? I can't remember. But it was right at the end. It was done. Right at the end. Even if it wasn't. Right at the end. These guys having these exhibition fights in between what is the peak of their career is kind of weird for me. Very, very weird. And then it isn't even comparable to Ngannou Fury, because at least these guys were the same size. Like, Jake Paul is a 215, 220 pound guy. I don't know what he walks around.
UFC President Dana White didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight. He said that from a competitive standpoint, most fans aren't tuning in for skill, they're tuning in for chaos. Still, White admitted there's an upside for Davis that many people might overlook. Even if the matchup feels unbalanced, it gives Tank a rare opportunity to reach audiences far beyond the traditional boxing crowd. According to White, Jake Paul's massive social media influence and mainstream popularity guarantee exposure that typical fights can't match. For Davis, that could translate into major financial gains, a stronger brand, and a global fan base that extends well outside the sport. Dana summed it up simply. The fight may seem unconventional, but it could be the key to taking Gervonta Davis's star power to an entirely new level.